The world is changing. Old certainties are crumbling. The rules-based international order established after World War II is under threat. Russia, led by President Vladimir Putin, is at the heart of this turmoil. Putin seeks to restore Russia's dominance, challenging the West. His actions have triggered war in Europe and economic chaos. Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 was a turning point. This act shattered decades of relative peace in Europe. It revealed the brutal reality of Putin's ambitions. He uses military force, economic coercion, and cyber warfare. The world is grappling with the consequences of Russia's actions. The Ukraine war rages on. Energy prices have soared, and the threat of a wider conflict looms large. The future is uncertain, but Russia's actions have shaken global stability. The world is now at a crossroads. Will Russia's actions lead to a new era of global conflict? Or can a new world order emerge, based on cooperation and respect? The answers to these questions will shape the future for generations to come. The invasion of Ukraine was a watershed moment in post-Cold War history. It was a blatant violation of international law and a direct assault on the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. Putin's justification for the invasion to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine was widely condemned as a pretext for a war of aggression. The international community responded swiftly to the invasion. The United States, the European Union, and their allies imposed unprecedented sanctions on Russia, targeting its economy, financial system, and key individuals. NATO, the Western military alliance, bolstered its presence in Eastern Europe, deploying troops and equipment to member states bordering Russia. Despite these efforts, the war in Ukraine continues. Russian forces have met with fierce resistance from the Ukrainian military and civilian population. The conflict has resulted in thousands of casualties on both sides and created a humanitarian crisis, with millions of Ukrainians displaced from their homes. The invasion of Ukraine has had profound implications for European security. It has shattered the illusion of a post-Cold War peace dividend and exposed the continent's vulnerability to Russian aggression. The West's response to Russia's aggression has centered on economic sanctions. These measures aim to cripple the Russian economy, isolating it from the global financial system. Key Russian banks have been cut off from SWIFT. Assets of Russian oligarchs have been frozen. Export controls on critical technologies are in place. The sanctions have significantly impacted the Russian economy. Prices for basic goods have risen and shortages have emerged. Sanctions have pushed Russia closer to China, deepening their trade and financial ties. This partnership challenges the US-led global order. Section 4. The energy crisis, a weaponized resource. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has also triggered a global energy crisis. Russia is a major energy producer, supplying a significant portion of Europe's natural gas needs. In retaliation for Western sanctions, Russia has weaponized its energy exports, cutting off gas supplies to several European countries. This move has sent shockwaves through European energy markets, causing prices to skyrocket. Governments across Europe have scrambled to secure alternative sources of gas from Norway, Algeria, and the United States. They have also accelerated plans to transition to renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar power. However, these efforts will take time to bear fruit. In the meantime, Europe faces a difficult winter, with the threat of energy rationing and blackouts looming. The energy crisis has highlighted Europe's dependence on Russian gas and the risks associated with relying on a single supplier. Russia's weaponization of energy has also had geopolitical implications, strengthening its ties with other energy-hungry nations. China and India, both of which are heavily reliant on fossil fuels, have continued to purchase Russian oil and gas, providing Moscow with a much-needed revenue stream. Section 5. Cyber warfare, an invisible threat. In addition to its military aggression and economic coercion, Russia has also engaged in cyber warfare, targeting Ukraine and its Western allies. Russian hackers have launched a series of sophisticated cyber attacks, targeting critical infrastructure, financial institutions, and government agencies. These attacks have been designed to disrupt essential services, sow chaos, and undermine public trust. In Ukraine, Russian hackers have targeted the power grid, causing widespread blackouts. They have also attacked banks and government websites, disrupting operations and stealing sensitive data. While cyber attacks have not yet reached the level of a full-scale cyber war, they represent a serious and growing threat. Russia's actions have demonstrated the vulnerability of critical infrastructure and the potential for cyber attacks to have real-world consequences. The threat of cyber warfare is likely to grow in the coming years. as states and non-state actors alike develop more sophisticated capabilities. Section 6, a new world order, shifting geopolitics. Russia's actions have had a profound impact on the global geopolitical landscape, accelerating the emergence of a new world order. The old order, characterized by US dominance and a rules-based international system, is giving way to a more multipolar world with multiple centers of power and competing ideologies. Russia's alliance with China is a key feature of this new order. The two countries share a deep distrust of the West and a desire to challenge its hegemony. They have deepened their economic, military, and diplomatic cooperation, forming a powerful counterweight to the United States and its allies. Other countries are also seeking to chart their own course in this new world order. India, for example, has maintained close ties with both Russia and the United States, refusing to take sides in the conflict in Ukraine. The rise of a multipolar world is likely to be a complex and unpredictable process. It remains to be seen what rules and norms will govern relations between states in this new order. Section 7, Conclusion and Uncertain Future. Russia's actions have shaken global stability to its core, triggering a cascade of consequences that will continue to reverberate for years to come. The invasion of Ukraine has shattered the illusion of a post-Cold War peace in Europe, while the ensuing economic sanctions and energy crisis have had a global impact. The world is now grappling with the fallout from these events, facing a future fraught with uncertainty and risk. The threat of a wider conflict looms large, while the global economy teeters on the brink of recession. Cyber warfare poses a persistent and evolving threat, and the geopolitical landscape is rapidly shifting. In this new world disorder, the old certainties no longer apply. The rules-based international order is under strain, and the future of global stability hangs in the balance. The choices made by world leaders in the months and years to come will determine whether this new era will be marked by cooperation or confrontation. The stakes could not be higher. The world is watching, waiting to see whether reason and diplomacy will prevail, or whether the forces of aggression and division will ultimately triumph. The future of global stability rests on the answer. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the discussion in the comments below.